We're live and you're watching Howler on YouTube.
Yeah!
Where's Vinny?
Alright. Alright guys, if you go back a few videos, you'll see my video where I went to the Roanoke Comic-Con for this year. And while I was, looking around there, hanging out at the comic book convention, I ran across a guy who, as soon as I was scanning his table, he looks at me and says, "There's a box of comics here, and I'll give it to you for, $10. And I was like, "What's in it?" And he was like, "It's old, it's 2000 AD stuff, early Alan Moore stuff, early Alan Davis stuff." And I jumped at it and got it for $10, And then when I was shooting the video, I showed the box, and then I saw this, and turns out it was $25 for, I think 134 comics. And I got it for $10, and I said I'd show what it is. Well, I'm not going to go through every comic, but we'll get through this stuff, and I'll show you what's in the box. Alright, so first thing I want to show is some odds and ends at the front of this. Alright, this was a series that, we get to the British stuff in it. This was a series that, all this came in the box, like I said. But this was a series that I saw advertisements for in other comics during the 80s and was never interested. And the famous one is that I remember is that it had a fish in the top of an hourglass and the water was running down to the bottom, and I'm like, well, okay, and then, so inside of this we get Wasteland number 3, and this is from 1988. But the reason I'm bringing it out is the first thing they do is they take a, I don't want to say a shot because they give apologies to him, to Harvey Pekar and Crumb, and they do a little story called American Squalor, and they do it like American Splendor, and like Harvey Pekar is on the Letterman show, and the guy that they have drawing it is drawing like Robert Crumb, so that just kind of cracks me up. But it's got a lot of repetitiveness to it. Gives it a surreal feeling. That when I say repetitiveness, it means they use the same panels over and over with different dialogue. And the whole thing is that he's freaking out because he keeps having a dream that his bed's on fire. And every time he goes back to check on it, there's a little bit of smoke, and they use the same panels, and it just kind of cracks me up till eventually his bed is on fire. Maybe think of Talking Heads for some reason. And then there's some like true indie 80s books in this thing, man, that I have never heard of, man. Here's number 1 of True Fan Adventures. Don't know what to tell you about it, okay? This box makes me feel like a new comic book collector. I mean, I am completely, humbled by this box. No idea what this is. Hopefully they're good. And then we got True Fan Adventures number 2 here. 52 pages of all kinds of glory, And so we'll see what's on there. And what I like about these covers is apparently there's a mouse theme to them. Frontline wombats, well, rodent. And this one's got, 2 twisted tails with some underground looking mice there. Howlermouse mice. So yeah, that got my attention. And then we got in 80s, I got these, Steve Ogden sent me the miniseries that they reprinted in the early 2000s, but here's an original Silent Invasion book from the 80s and stuff. There's so many books I'm not really going to get into it, man, but really like this. It's set in the 50s, it's paranoia, it's Red Scare, it's aliens, it's film noir, all kinds of stuff. Red Circle book in here. I've actually dodged this book for years. Thunder Bunny, it looks like a kid claps his hand or something, and Thunder Bunny appears is what the cover makes me think of. Now watch this end up being a really cool book that I've dodged for years, Thunder Bunny. Alright. And again, like I said, there's some stuff in here I just don't know what to say. Here's a book from something called Planet X Comics, Tales from the Stone Troll Cafe. No idea. I'm not sure what to tell you what's on the cover. And then I've never heard of this. Marvel put out something called number 1, the generic comic book type superhero action adventure, and it gives you one erotic superhero and it lists everything that's in there. And this thing doesn't even give you credits. I don't know what this is. The generic comic book from Marvel Comics. Found an old beat up Black Magic, more horror stuff from the Bronze Age there. I thought was really cool. And these are usually Jack Kirby, Jack Simon and Jack Kirby reprints. You know, it looks like a leprechaun. Then I was really, and there's usually like 3 or 4 stories in this, and I was really happy to see this. This is from PC Comics from the early 80s. This is from Scott Shaw, who did Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew, Wild Animals. You know, I'm a Scott Shaw guy, you know, just because of Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew, so anything he's doing with his funny animals is just awesome. Yeah, it looks, oh man, Shades of Captain Carrot. I don't know which came first. Where this is PC Comics, I'm almost willing to put money this came out first or at the same time. So, yeah. Anyway, and then here we go. A bunch of first comics here. The Badger. I've heard of the Badger. Never read any. Mike Barron, Jerry Butler, but got a ton of you know, Badger comics. Looks like it starts with 17, and it goes up from there. I think you get the idea. Yes, I'm gonna go kind of quick. Yeah. So don't know anything about the Badger. 80s indie books, hit or miss. It's from First Comics, so that's really cool. I have a bunch of Elric books by Roy Thomas through First Comics. So we got the Badger. And just as I say that, I run into an advertisement for Elric. Sailor on the Seas of Fate, my favorite Elric book. Badger. Alright, a lot of animals. A lot of animals in that thing. Alright. And, put this back. Alright, and then we go into stuff I've never heard of again. The Crypt. Looks like there's a bunch of just Stone Cold 80s stuff. Demon Mask from Amazing Comics. Looks very Will Eisner-ish Spirit to me, you know. Oh, an old Marvel classic, Fleet of the Gods. Classic Comics number 22. I might already have that one. Don't know what this is. American Comics Group, ACG. Gasp. Looks like it's 12 cent. Yeah, it looks like it's a Silver Age. No idea what this is. Midnight Surfer. Only one man can stop him from Dredd. The crazy Skyhawk guy. So that's from Quality Comics. So that's probably from 2000 AD. Oh, look at this. Little shout out to the great legend there. Got me a Popeye comic. Wow. Born to the Sea. Special number 1 from 1987. Brutus down. I swear I thought Brutus was named Bluto when I was a kid. Yeah. No idea what this is. Very cool. Now get going. I had this when I was a kid. Remember I had this around kindergarten. This very issue. You know. Whitman variant, it looks like. From 1974. So, you know. The Vault Doormat. No idea. Got some Charlton stuff. Steve Ogden might be getting this. War. Eclipse Comics. Elf Thing. Looks like they're taking a shot at Swamp Thing and Elf Quest, if I had to guess. Maybe a little bit of Hulk there. Looks like a Hulk number 1 cover. And then I have no idea what this company is. Looks like it's out of Canada. I don't know. I can't even. They got the title all chopped up. Fragments. Oh, how funny. No idea. No idea. But they got a big check on it, so it must be good. Alright. Moving right along. Now we're getting into the Judge Dredd stuff. I'll take a little time on this. I do know a little bit about Judge Dredd thanks to Anthrax writing the song called I Am the Law back in the day. Back when I was in middle school. So I had to find out who this Judge Dredd was, the guy they love. But Quality Comics and Eagle Comics, and I think Eagle came first, basically just published stories from 2000 AD, which comes from Britain, and they sent them over here to like America and probably other parts around the world. And I think Eagle Comics only lasted 3 years, then Quality jumped on there, kind of picked up where they left off, and I think they only lasted 3 or 4 years. Grain of salt there. But yeah, I got a buttload of Judge Dredd books. Early cases, Brian Boland covers, just, you know, really cool to have this. You know, look at that. Oh, that's the stuff I love. I mean, if there's anything that says, you know, 80s, I'm not going to lie, it's you know, Judge Dredd in a way. The Sylvester Stallone movie of the 90s really was just atrocious, and I was so glad when they made Dredd a few years ago. Yeah, number 7, you know, just a bunch of I Am the Law, as I try to keep you entertained. Now, there is a reprint of Judge Dredd where there was something going on where you would grow mushrooms all over you. I don't know if it was a drug or if you got exposed to something. And on the cover, it's got a guy sitting there. I mean, it's one of the grossest covers I ever saw. He's got his tongue stuck out, and he's got mushrooms all over his face and growing on his tongue. Like, you know, I'd love to find that one. Judge Dredd, the early cases, going probably back to the 70s. You know, so look at that. Oh, Judge Dredd is so cool. Got Brian Boland covers, Crime File. I mean, just tons of Judge Dredd. And all these, and I'm only halfway through the box, so I'm hurrying, guys. Oh man, I'm going too fast. They're piling up. You're going to see them in a minute. Oh, Sam Slade, Robo Hunter. We've had a little change here. Yeah, Crime File. And they start giving you an idea of other things that are coming here, like 2000 AD on sale in December and stuff. So, and then we've got something here, Laser Blast and Press Button. No idea. No idea. Never heard of these. Then we get into Sam Slade Robo Hunter. I've heard of it, but it's probably through advertisements and other Judge Dredd books I got or something. Actually, it harkens back to some sci-fi DC stuff from the 50s when I look at this. I'm trying to think who it was. But, you know, I'll read it, and I'm sure there's a great take on it. These are like 52 issues and stuff. Sam Slade Robo Hunter. Yeah. Keep on going. No idea who Sam Slade's Robo Hunter is. Like I said, that's kind of cool now because it's like I'm discovering, you know, a whole new thing here. Alright, something called Spellbinder here, which I'm assuming continues, you know, reprinting stories from 2000 AD. Oh, look at this. Looks like you had a checklist of what was coming out from Quality Comics. So, you know, looks like they were putting out a lot of stuff. But anyway, moving on here. Now we're into number 1. You know, I think this one starts with number 1, but it's got Nemesis, and that's Kevin O'Neill and Kevin O'Neill and that's going to kill me. But anyway, these are guys that did Martial Law. That I love Martial Law. They started at Marvel with Epic with Martial Law, but this is Kevin O'Neill and Pat Mills. I think that's their name. So really good to see their stuff in here. Spellbinder number 1, number 2. Looks like we have a little Slain the Barbarian. And there they are, man. Nemesis the Warlock, Gothic Empire. I am really pumped to read that one. I see what these guys were doing before they did, you know. We got something next month still. Oh yeah, and they show you what's coming out next month. Very cool. More Slain. This stuff is really reminiscent of some other stuff. I can't think of what it is. So, more Nemesis. Nemesis the Warlock. Yeah. Spellbinders. Yep, up to number 9, number 10, number 11. I'm kind of wondering if you British guys that are watching this, if this is ringing any bells. So, you know, Ghost Critic, MA0001, Archangel, Steel Claw. Now I'm not going to pull these out, but whatever this Steel Claw was, I got a complete mini-series in here. And basically, it looks like it's a whole story of this steel hand that goes around attaching itself to people or something. No idea. Reminds me of a Hammer film, like an artist got run over by a car and he chopped his hand off and the hand's chasing the guy through the whole movie. Now, Strontium Dog. Strontium Dog I'd heard of before, and I'm being real careful here because I found out this has a rabid fan base, but I always thought this was like Judge Dredd light. Judge Dredd is dealing with mutants and stuff on, you know, what is Earth in the future, and the Strontium Dogs have badges with SD on them, and if I remember right, they are bounty hunters. They're not police, and they track down mutants. There's been something happen where they're all mutants. Now I want you to listen to this, right? This is from Britain, and this Strontium Dog, I think his name is Johnny Alpha, was the star, you know, the favorite of the Strontium Dogs of people who read the book. And his superpowers were, I think he could read minds and see through walls, X-ray vision and telepathy. Think Hitman from Garth Ennis. You know, wow, you know. But anyway, 48 pages of this one stuff. But anyway, I found out they killed Johnny Alpha in like 1990, and you know, that's where I messed up saying this was Judge Dredd Light, man, because I said that around the 90s, you know, because I was, you know, kind of into Judge Dredd with what I could find and stuff back then. And man, I got my butt handed to me, more or less to say. But yeah, some Strontium Dog. Can't wait to read these because these stories were bizarre. I only read like maybe 2 of them back in the day. It seems like the one I read, he went back in time and they bounty hunted on Hitler or something. I don't know. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. So, yep. Feel like I'm going real fast and not giving these justice, but you know, got another stack to go through here. Yes. Strontium Dog. Looks like I got a. What is that? Big run on those. That there. What do we got here? Time Twisters. Almost done. Time Twisters. No idea. But I'm assuming it's from 2000 AD. So we'll just go through these real quick so I can show you the last set. Those great 80s logos there. Oh man, looks like it's sci-fi and robots and economic classes. This is what I've noticed about English comics and British comics. They're really political, and they're really subversive with economic classes and fascism and stuff, and that adds to a different texture and stuff. You know, the political, you know, politics, and really good sci-fi takes your political and economic problems and health problems or whatever of today, and they just put them in a different setting in the future. Now, this is the stuff that I know as Alan Moore's early stuff, DR and Quench. So this is just straight out 2000 AD monthly, where you get a mix of Alan Moore stories from way back in the day before he came to America. Early 80s, I want to say late 70s, but don't quote me on it. And you get some great Judge Dredd stuff. There's Judge Death, and the Four Horsemen. Oh man, yeah. I have these 2 issues, but the rest of them I don't have to track down anymore. But DR and Quench, so I've got a bunch of Alan Moore stuff here. Judge Death. Man, look at that. Judge Anderson. Then we go into, it's still 2000 AD Presents. Now we're getting into the other stuff like Harry 20, which I cannot wait to check this out. More Judge Anderson. She didn't wear the Dredd helmet, the judge's helmet and stuff out of uniform because it messed up her telepathy, interfered. So I've heard about these Judge Anderson solo stories. That's what they are, so I'm really looking forward to doing it. More DR and Quench. Looks like they're doing a little something for Halloween or Christmas. Oh, look at that. More Strontium Dog. He's back because you demanded it. These are thick. These books are thick. You know, Harry 20 on the High Rock. This could be good. You know, moving on. Love that cover. Harkens back to EC Comics. I don't care what they say. It's like we're getting some Dan Dare. And I think Dan Dare is like in the vein of like Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, and this is where I think we're starting to get some American artists on here. Now I have this one, so that's Dan Dare, and then we get into like Alan Davis and Brian Boland. Who am I forgetting? Alan Davis, Brian Boland, some other artists get in there. Dave Gibbons. This is a lot of their stuff, and we'll stop right there. And continuing on, some more Dan Dare. Love that cover. Man of action, apparently. Look at that. Shades of Al Williamson. I don't care what anybody says. That is awesome. And that's a good thing. So, excuse me. Cannot wait to read some Dan Dare finally, man. I've heard about him for years, and he really got going when Garth Ennis came out with a, I don't know if it was a mini-series or what he was doing. I never got to read them. And there we go. So there's a whole world of British comics there, where I get to get a taste of some 2000 AD goodness there, which I'm really excited about. see what the twist is, really absorb all this stuff or anything like that. So it's just all about finding time now. So that's great. Alright guys, thanks for hanging in there. Later.